and you see the deep crosser, and here's what he's looking at. You're even with the safety to the sideline, and you got all that space to throw. And this is one of those where you go, yeah, 15 to 26, 200 some yards, 2 touchdowns. But man, oh man, this for a guy his caliber with his paycheck, that's a throw that you expect to make every time. 10 out of 10. Go to the second play here, and this is just fundamental stuff. And I highlight Tucker Kraft on the backside because he's actually got the difficult block. Zach Tom's coming down for the B block with Sean Ryan, and we got a single up Tucker Kraft on their defensive end out of a 2-point off the line of scrimmage. And you see, I'll show this twice. So second step for Sean Ryan puts him on his ass. And then Tucker Kraft butts up, squares up, and holds his ground against a guy when he's off the ball by a yard in a 2-point stance. So you've got players just needing to just improve the basics of the sport. Okay, third play of the game. You've had the poor run. You had the first play that was an incomplete for a 25-yard gain. What you love about this is they have great splits. So what do I mean by splits? The distance between the center and the guard and the tackle are huge. Now, a lot of guys are going to go, is that good? Because that means there's more room to run. Well, I guess you can look at it that way, but I think the positive of this is, like, for example, the defensive linemen are lining up on the center, the guard, and the tackle regardless. So if you line up a foot away from your guard as a tackle, that guy's lining up where he thinks, in this case, Young's 3 yards off of Zach Tom, right? If they line up a yard away from each other, it's 3. So you can build in space, this like horizontal space away from the quarterback, expand the rushing lanes just by messing around your splits. Now, having said that, you got a 3-man game over here. You got to set to win. So it means that the guard position, you got to set back. You set wide. All of a sudden, you got to come back and slam off Josh Myers, which is he's gonna have a hard time because there's a huge space in that A gap, and there's just no way they're gonna be able to come around and get this play. So we start the game with a sack, and really that's a totally avoidable sack, especially on a 3-man game. If you just set vertical, set in line with everybody else, so you can punch and pass, this is a very blockable play. So I show this because Jordan Love does the helmet thing, tight end, echoes it out to the wide receivers, and then you see he just very subtly steps back inside. So he takes a step from his left to his right to get closer. Why does he do that? So he's got a better angle. Now the backside B wins big here. Okay, you get huge movement from Sean Ryan and Zach Tom, and then Sims is singled up against the defensive end, and they're sending. This is just the split flow look, but they kept the tight end on the backside because we don't usually do this. And now we can blow up that defensive end on the way to the backside corner, that backside safety, whoever decides to fill. And so it just gives you a little extra protection right there for him to slide through and get a 5-6 yard gain. Easy stuff. That's great. Now we got the quick toss. Or I guess it's just a handoff. Now watch the big man up here, man. This is absolutely. I wanted to put Murder on here because he murders this guy, old 6'3". I just put Hammer. Oh, and he just kept going too. He didn't even smash him. He just knocked the hell out of him, and then talked about it on the sidelines to all the other team. Oh, that was beautiful. Okay, we're doing a little helmet touching stuff again. We get off the line of scrimmage with Tucker Kraft. Now, this is a great O-line adjustment. What do I mean by that? They have a sense, whether it's because of the squared stances, whether it's because of the formation by the defense, but instead of just going a deuce on the play side between the left guard and the tackle, they all block down because they know these guys are looping over the top. So the center, instead of taking the nose tackle, actually goes back to the 4 technique. Okay? Great Trevor goes in motion. Your little butt. Now, I don't think he's supposed to log, and I think Josh Jacobs makes something here where he could have probably bounced this outside and followed Sean Ryan. But because they block it up so well, we end up making a first real big play of the game. Let's take one more look at, because I didn't notice this early, but is that Who is that masked man? Who's the tight end over? Is that Sims? Look at this oh, I did not see that earlier. What a unit. Tell you what, man, this tight end room's got coming around now. Oh, that was physical. And now we got, I mean, this, listen, this play should not have worked. Okay. So if you're Jordan Love, you're looking, okay, I've got this. Now they're running cover two. It looks like they switched to cover two, but they dropped the backside corner. So Jordan Love's looking at this backside safety lane, like, I've got a lot of grass here to throw to. But this guy, I don't know how this guy misses the ball. I mean, he just completely overruns the receiver. Good Lord. I mean, that was high schoolish. And this is what I'm saying about chicken salad. I mean, you get full on pushed in the backfield here, the entire left side of our line. You know, we did this the same thing. So the Rams do this out charge with their defensive tackles. It's really hard to block, and it kind of puts you in this no man's land where you don't, like, you're trying to like take two guys. One, you're trying to like hit the guy with the inside hand and then wait for the tackle if you're the guard on the outside hand, but they're both out charging, so it's really difficult. So they get pushed back, but he makes chicken salad out of chicken. Bounces out here. What a run! What a great run! By the way, what camera work by me? This is a who's on first moment. Okay, so if you're gonna skip by this guy, talking about Zach Tom, so they're running like a crack toss, but we're really just gonna reach the defensive end here, and he just runs a spike. But then it's like, I don't know if he didn't communicate with Sean Ryan. He kind of looks at the end like, oh yeah, that was me. But I think that was one of the few negative runs of the game. Unfortunate. That's definitely, like, if you've ever played football before, you get back to the huddle and you're like, did you hear my call? Like, what call? I didn't make a call. You see the split here? He's a yard out. We're talking about the tight end, yard off the tackle now. And this is kind of like, where do you start with the issues here on this play? This is the pick six in the end zone. So the first is, you got three guys on the backside, and instead of just hinging back, they have Rasheed Walker coming down and slamming the three technique, and then opening up for the end. Well, Josh Jacobs has to take the end, and then Rasheed has to go back and get the outside rusher if they bring somebody off the backside. And you have to imagine running this on the goal line that they're going to do that. Now, Jordan Love probably shouldn't be inclined to stop moving at any point here, because he should be able to get chased backside like that, unaware. And then this whole sequence, that is one of the keystone cops plays that are going to be, hopefully, for the season. This is what you love. Jordan Love. Jordan Love's when he's got good footwork, I mean, the kid's got some arm talent. Watch this pass. Just bop, 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 plant and throw, absolute dime on an out route across the field. It's just so impressive. Now, back to Sean Ryan. Listen, I've had a lot of bad pass sets in my life, so I can say with some clarity and confidence that this is not a pass set. Okay? Now, you get your hand knocked in, you headbutt the guy, you jump backwards, and you just end up falling down. And I don't know if this was called a sack fumble. It must have been a sack fumble going backwards, because I think 91 got his second sack there, but not a good look. You see the corner down here. Let me back this up a little bit. So we run a nice little play action with the orbit. So he turns around. So this is a legitimate play action, okay? Because you're pulling I think you're pulling the guard here. You run the orbit. Even though he's not under center, he turns his back. So now the linebackers are like, okay, what is happening exactly? You can see they're both standing in their spots. Now Tucker Kraft gets underneath, and they've occupied everybody here by like running that wide receiver across the corner's face. So the corner sees all this kind of happening, but he's trying to now drive on Kraft, and he gets kind of in the way of the receiver. Kraft catches, but then two things happen here. The first one is great stiff arm by the runner, and the second is what a great job blocking, man. This is, if I'm Tucker Kraft, I'm going to my receiving corps. Hey, the first round's on me at the bar tonight, because this is the kind of effort that is infectious with a football team. You just love the way he blocked there, man. It's phenomenal. I love that. You know who used to block like that? Robert Ferguson. You guys remember that? The Dirty Bird, Robert Ferguson? He could block. I mean, they could all block. The whole room could block, but man, he liked to block. So we got a 2x2. We motion over to trips, okay? It makes it an easy read for the offensive line. They're going to run a screen pass here because everybody softens up. So the outside corner softens up, the slot, because they're all moving one guy over. So what happens when they move one guy over? They always take a step backwards. The linebacker does the same thing. So everybody's soft here. It's just so easy for them to see this as an offensive line. And this is how the screen game can get really effective. There's two ways to make the screen game super effective. You either, A, figure out that it's man early. Okay, so if they bring pressure, you have a hot read. If it's man and you can get that one guy, there's nobody else there. So it's literally like, the center and the running back running by themselves for 20 yards. Or if you motion to a soft zone and they have to bump out, it usually makes those guys drop to 8 to 10 yards, where it's so easy for everyone to read who they're supposed to block that good plays come out of it. And then you see the motion in the backfield here. They get Josh Jacobs to bounce out again. They're just trying to see what's going to happen with all these guys. And they know now that the linebacker's locked up with Tucker Kraft. So we get the releases by the X and the running back, turn this into a tight end screen, get on one guy, plays being made.